The day Emily White returned, my husband threw a check at me. 1 million. Divorce. In my past life, I thought he was humiliating me. I left with nothing but that 4-year-old check. But this time I stretched out 5 fingers. 100 million. Not a cent less. Anything less would be an insult to true love. Ryan Carter's face darkened. Ava, don't be too greedy. I turned to Emily, who stood beside him and smirked. Emily, this man isn't worth it. If he can't even spare 100 million, it means he doesn't think you're worth that much. Emily glanced at me before looking at Ryan with a tender, affectionate gaze. Ryan was a man who valued his pride. He clenched his jaw and spat. Fine. 100 million. But you'll only get it after the company secures the project. Until then, you are not allowed to do anything that would damage my reputation. I vaguely recalled that in my past life, there had been a crucial project that determined the company's future. Ryan had been extremely invested in it. I nodded in understanding and then calmly spread my fingers again. Add another 100 million. Ryan's brows twitched. Ava, do you even have any shame? Emily folded her arms and sneered. Know your worth, Ava. Do you really think you're worth that much? I gasped dramatically. Oh, so what you're saying is that the title of Mrs. Dre Carter isn't even worth 200 million? As for dignity, I let out a chuckle. Ryan, Emily, the way you two are always together, it's touching, really. Do you still care about things like pride? Their faces turned green, their eyes burning with barely suppressed anger. Oh, don't be shy. I get it. Passionate flames and all that. Don't worry, once the money's in my account, I'll be your personal love bodyguard. Ryan snapped, his voice laced with fury. Ava, where is your self-respect? Are you really willing to throw away your dignity for money? I thought I saw something different in you. I thought you had an unshakable backbone, that you weren't like those women who only wanted my wealth. But turns out you're just like them. The gap between Ryan and me had always been enormous. Everyone said I wasn't worthy of him. They called me a scheming gold digger, said I only married him for his money. To prove them wrong, I refused to take a single cent beyond necessary living expenses. I never asked for luxury goods. Despite being married to a billionaire, I was still struggling with a monthly salary of just $3,000. Looking back now, I was the biggest fool in the world. I casually cleaned my ears and said, Vice President Carter, make sure the money is in my account tomorrow. Not a cent less. As I spoke, I pulled a small box of supplements from my bag and handed it to Emily. Emily, if he's doing well, you'll be doing well too. I nearly burst out laughing. A young and mighty CEO already needing kidney supplements? Who would want that? I, an orphan with no background, had only been able to marry Ryan because of one thing, my face, which happened to resemble Emily's. I never knew that. I thought I had found true love like a Cinderella fairy tale. Until Emily returned from abroad. She stormed into my home, slapped me across the face, and crushed my fingers under her heel. You cheap imitation. How dare you stand by Ryan's side? That was when I realized I had been a stand-in for 3 years. 3 years ago, Emily had refused to marry him, and in a fit of anger ran off overseas. Furious, Ryan had found me, a woman who looked just like her, and married me just to spite her. Their fight had been a game to them, but I was the one who had given my heart. I refused to divorce him. I tried everything to save our marriage. I begged him, pleaded with him, hoping that for the sake of our 3 years together, he wouldn't abandon me. But all he did was throw a check at me and say, we were husband and wife. Don't make things difficult for me. With your current salary, it would take you over 30 years of not eating or drinking to save up $1 million. I'm already being generous to you. I refused to take the check. Tears streamed down my face as I told him he was insulting my dignity, insulting my love for him. Emily rolled her eyes. Oh, come on, you were just after his money. Stop pretending to be innocent. My eyes were red as I turned to Ryan. Ryan, I truly love you. I'll prove it to you. I tore up the check and walked away with nothing. For the sake of survival. During the day, I worked an office job. At night, I delivered food. In the end, because of a delivery that had an extra $5 surcharge, I was too exhausted to focus. I lost control of my bike and was hit by a massive truck on the spot. After I died, my soul drifted toward Ryan Carter. I wanted to see if he would feel guilt, regret, or just maybe cry for me in sorrow. After all, I'd been such a kind and pure-hearted woman, never after his money, only loving him for who he was. Unfortunately, I had overestimated my worth. My death only earned him a 10-second pause. Then, he calmly put his phone away, took Emily White by the hand, and went off to attend a dinner party. I was so furious that my soul practically died a second time. But when I opened my eyes again, I realized I had been reborn, right back to the day Ryan asked for a divorce. Alright, fine. If he didn't appreciate a pure-hearted, selfless woman, then I'd show him just how greedy I could be. The next morning, I received a notification that the money had been transferred. But when I checked the amount, my face instantly darkened. 5 million. I immediately called Ryan. What is this supposed to mean? His voice was calm. Ava, what if you take the money and ruin my reputation? This project is crucial to the company. I agreed to your demands, but you should understand my concerns. I let out a small laugh. Oh, I understand. Of course I do. In that case, why don't you write me an IOU? Make sure to include a clear repayment date. If it's overdue, I'll charge interest at the standard bank loan rate. There was silence on the other end of the line. Then Ryan's voice came back, slightly strained. Ava, when did we become so distant? You used to call me Ryan. Fine, Ryan. Write me an IOU. Include the repayment date, and if you're late, interest applies at the bank rate. His breathing turned noticeably heavier. Finally, he gritted his teeth and snapped. Ava, don't push it. I gasped in mock shock. Oh my God, Vice President Carter. You're not planning to go back on your word, are you? You wouldn't be thinking of refusing to pay me, would you? I giggled. By the way, I recorded our conversation yesterday. Also, let's be real, cheating in a marriage isn't exactly a huge scandal these days. But if word got out that the young, dashing Vice President Carter already needed kidney supplements at his age, yikes. Ryan exploded. Shut up. I'll get you the IOU later. He hung up the phone in a rage. Ah, that felt satisfying. How had I not realized in my past life what a scheming man he was? Then again, what kind of person marries a stand-in to begin with? Did he really think he could use emotional manipulation to cheat me out of my money? Dream on. I waited 3 days, still no IOU. I was done waiting. I went straight to his company, and what a coincidence, Emily White was in his office. She was perched on his desk, wearing a white blouse unbuttoned just enough to hint at intimacy, one hand lazily hooked around Ryan's neck. The moment I opened the door, I froze. To be fair, the door wasn't locked. I had just walked right in. I quickly turned around and backed away. Oops, my bad. Didn't mean to interrupt. I'll come back when you're done. Take your time, Vice President Carter. I can wait. Then, ever so considerately, I reached back and closed the door for them. 5 minutes later, Emily stormed out, her expression dark. She shot me a glare sharp enough to cut glass and hissed, Ava, Ryan is mine. You'll never get him back. I immediately grabbed her hand and put on my best heartbroken expression. Tears welled up in my eyes as I pleaded, Emily, you've misunderstood me. I want to leave, but Ryan won't let me go. I'm scared. What if he changes his mind and refuses to divorce me? Please, Emily, I'm begging you, convince him to let me take the money and leave. As I sobbed, I not so subtly wiped my tears and a generous amount of snot onto her ridiculously expensive fur coat. Emily's face twisted in horror. You, get away from me. Fine, I'll go. I walked off, pleased. At least I had successfully disgusted her. I had finally figured it out. Instead of wasting my energy fighting him, it was better to drive him insane. Inside the office, Ryan's expression was stormy. His face looked terrible, dark circles under his eyes, an unmistakable bruise near his cheekbone. I smirked. Vice President Carter, don't forget to take your kidney supplements on time. His face darkened even further. His voice was ice cold. What are you doing here? I came to get the IOU. His jaw clenched. Ava, don't push your luck. What, do you think I'm going to run away? I asked, looking at Ryan Carter with a serious expression. Honestly, I wasn't worried before, but seeing you now, well, a man only has so much stamina in his lifetime. You really should take it easy, Vice President Carter. Ryan slammed his palm onto the desk. Get out. I pointed at the floor. Do you mean roll out, like a ball? Fine, I'll roll. I wrapped my arms around my head, dramatically rolled to the doorway, then rolled right back in, grinning. Vice President Carter, satisfied? If you are, then please write that IOU for me. Thanks. If not, I can go roll outside for a bit. Ryan's face darkened even more. Endure hardship, and you will rise above others, I said, beaming. Walking out of the office building, I looked at the IOU in my hand and felt that every bit of struggle had been worth it. This crazy act method really worked. 2 weeks later, Carter Group's 10th anniversary gala was approaching. Ryan asked me to attend with him. I agreed right away. Sure, but the dress, shoes, jewelry, facial treatments, and foot spa expenses, those are all work-related costs, right? So they should be covered by the company. In my past life, I had always been afraid of people calling me a gold digger. I had been too frugal to properly dress up. Every time I attended an event with Ryan, I only aimed to avoid mistakes, never to stand out. But this time, different story. We were divorcing anyway. If someone else was paying, then I might as well enjoy myself. Shopping alone wasn't fun, so I called my best friend, Aiden Jones, my Aiden. In my past life, he was the one person I had failed the most. Aiden was also an orphan. We had grown up together in the same orphanage and were closer than family. When he found out I was getting divorced, he tried everything to help me. He even hired a private investigator to gather evidence of Ryan's infidelity, hoping to help me fight for my rights. But what did I do? I handed all that evidence over to Ryan just to prove my love for him. I wanted Ryan to see that even though I had proof, I couldn't bear to ruin him. Deep down, I had hoped Ryan would be shocked, moved, and wake up to his senses. I imagined him begging me to take him back, a classic dramatic romance, full of regret and longing. Yeah, that didn't happen. Instead, Ryan did chase after me with a bat in his hand, trying to beat me out of his house. From then on, he held a grudge against Aiden. He made sure Aiden lost his job. Aiden called me an idiot. He said I had lost my mind because of love and that I deserved everything I got. I was furious and screamed back at him, "Is it wrong to truly love someone?" We had a huge fight and never spoke again, even when I died. But when I got into that accident, Aiden was the first one there to claim my body. He made sure I was cremated and buried properly. That day, I stayed beside him as a spirit, listening as he burned paper money for me and cried. He cursed me over and over. "You and your damn love life." By the end, he was sobbing uncontrollably, his voice breaking. "Ava, please, come back. I won't scold you anymore, I swear." Later, to get revenge for me, Aiden exposed everything online: Ryan's affair, Emily White's scheming. He publicly called Emily a homewrecker and said she was trying to break into the entertainment industry through shady means. He even filed a real-name complaint about Carter Group's tax evasion, causing the company's stock to plummet. Ryan was furious. He had Aiden kidnapped and sent to some god-forsaken place to destroy his dignity. Aiden, desperate and out of options, had one last act of revenge. He drove straight into Ryan and Emily's car at full speed, killing them both. Then, he turned himself in and went to prison. "Aiden, I was the one who ruined you. This time, I won't let you down." When Aiden heard I was planning to use Ryan's money to take him on a shopping spree, he was so shocked he tried to drag me to see a psychic, convinced that I had been possessed by some spirit. I laughed, looking at the secondary credit card in my hand. Back then, I was young and naive. Now I figured things out. Aiden hugged me, tears streaming down his face. "I finally have a rich best friend." "Spend every cent, Ava. That bastard treated you like a stand-in. Your youth is worth more than whatever money he has in his pocket." That afternoon, we spent money like it was dirt. Whatever was beautiful, we bought. Whatever was comfortable, we bought. It was glorious. But then we ran into Emily White. She watched us struggling under the weight of all our shopping bags and sneered. "So it's true, you really only married Ryan for his money." She glanced at Aiden. "Not only are you greedy, but you're out here spending his money on strays?" She crossed her arms and smirked. "Ava, Ryan works hard to earn his money. Did he agree to let you waste it on some random dog?" "Oh wow, you really think Ryan is just an ATM, huh? A big dumb money tree? Go return those things right now," Aiden scoffed. "Oh, if even his legitimate wife doesn't have the right to spend his money, then who does? You, the mistress?" He reached out and rummaged through Emily White's shopping bags. A black card slipped out, Ryan Carter's signature clearly on the back. "Whoa, a diamond watch? Over 100 grand? Aiden smirked. "Ava, quick, call the police. This was bought using marital assets." Emily shoved Aiden away in frustration. "Who's the mistress here?" The one who isn't loved is the real mistress. Ryan and Ava have already talked things through. Why should she be spending his money? Aiden was about to argue back, but I grabbed his arm and, without warning, slapped myself across the face. Then I dropped to my knees and started wailing. Emily, I was wrong. As a wife, how could I have ever dared to spend my own husband's money? Ryan's money should all be saved for you. I'm so ashamed. I don't deserve to live. I should just die right now. My dramatic outburst immediately caught the attention of everyone around us. Aiden, my best friend for a reason, instantly caught on. Though he looked momentarily stunned, his acting was flawless. What kind of justice is this? A wife spends her husband's money and gets scolded by the mistress? He wailed in exaggerated horror. Has morality collapsed? Has human decency completely crumbled? People started gathering to watch the drama unfold. Some even took out their phones to record. This was hilarious. Ryan had only ever told me to protect his reputation. He never said I had to protect Emily's. I wasn't worried about myself. Aiden and I were dressed casually, no makeup, nothing that would make us stand out. But Emily was different. She was dressed to the nines, full glam, a perfect high society image. If this video spread, well, good luck to her. Sure enough, Emily panicked. She grabbed the black card and bolted, too flustered to even notice she had dropped several of her shopping bags. I immediately ran over and scooped them up. Nice. Brand new, still in their packaging. Perfect for reselling. When I turned back, I saw Aiden staring at me, looking a little dazed. Uh-oh, did I scare him with my craziness? I cleared my throat. Aiden, I swear I won't act crazy anymore. He suddenly shook his head violently. His eyes sparkled. No. Ava, I love this side of you. As expected that night, Ryan called me, his voice cold and laced with anger. You made a scene at the mall? I snapped a quick picture of myself lying in a hospital bed and sent it to him. Then, in the weakest, most pitiful voice I could muster, I whispered, Ryan, I swear on my conscience, I've been your wife for 3 years. Have I ever asked you for designer goods? Have I ever bought myself even a single Chanel bag? I let out a shaky breath. But today, Emily ran up to me and called me a gold digger. She said I married you just for your money. I can't take it anymore. I don't want to live, I sniffled dramatically. I was so shocked and devastated. I fainted. The doctors say I'll be hospitalized for a while. I might need time to recover. Ryan sounded impatient. And what about the gala? I coughed a few times and rasped, Vice President Carter, you're not expecting me to attend while sick, are you? What if I say something crazy while feverish? Wouldn't it be better for Emily to go instead? She's prettier, more elegant, and has a deep understanding of true love. You shouldn't care about what others think. Love conquers all, right? I sighed dramatically. But, if you really insist, I suppose I could push through. If I had another $5 million to help ease my pain. Ryan gritted his teeth. Fine. Come with me to the gala. As soon as the project is finalized, we'll divorce immediately. I perked up instantly. Great. So, just to confirm, this $5 million is being transferred immediately, right? You know the drill. Mark it as a gift in the transaction details. Ryan's voice was sharp. Ava, you're ruthless. A few minutes later, I received a bank notification, $5 million credited. Smirking, I posted on my social media, even illness can't stop my dedication to work. Before I knew it, the night of the 10th anniversary gala had arrived. As I gracefully descended the grand staircase, dressed in a stunning, custom-made gown, I could feel Ryan's gaze locked onto me. Men, always thinking with their lower half. By now, I had already moved out of his mansion and was staying at Aiden's place, if I calculated correctly. It had been over half a month since we last saw each other. In my past life, I had spent all my time making soup for him, constantly trying to take care of him. But I had never truly taken care of myself. Now that I was actually putting effort into my appearance, as Aiden put it, your curves put Emily's flat figure to shame. I took Ryan Carter's arm and gracefully stepped onto the stage, smiling as I listened to his speech. He looked at me with affectionate eyes, playing the role of the perfect husband. For a brief moment, I remembered the early days of our relationship, back when we had shared happy moments. Back then, when I had stomach issues, he would make porridge for me. On my birthday, he had spent an entire afternoon doing DIY crafts with me. And on New Year's Eve, with flushed cheeks, he had shyly whispered, I love you. Our relationship had never been about money. That was why I had once believed he had truly loved me, not just treated me like a rich man's doll. But those beautiful memories were just illusions, reflections of the moon in water. His real moon was always in the sky, far out of reach. That didn't matter. He could look up at his moon. I would keep my head down and collect my money. As the event came to a close, Ryan suddenly grabbed my wrist and pulled me into a private room. "Ava," he said, his voice low, "come home tonight." Ah, the unspoken bond of a married couple. I looked at his eager expression and thought, huh? Is Emily not satisfying him? "Vice President Carter," I smirked. "Are you saying you still want me?" His face remained stiff. "Fine, 5 million for one night." I burst out laughing. Ryan was shaking with rage. "Ava, do you have no shame? 5 million for one night? Do you think you are worth that much? We're husband and wife. This is natural." "Oh, this again?" I felt my blood pressure rise. "Oh, so now you remember that I'm your wife? And why exactly should a wife be obligated to provide for free? What have you ever given me? Did you buy me an engagement gift? A house? A car? No. The only thing you ever gave me was a marriage certificate that could be voided at any time." I let out a low chuckle. If that's all it takes to be Mrs. Carter, then what exactly do I have to show for it? Ryan's face turned ashen with fury. He gritted his teeth and spat out 3 words. "Fine, fine, fine. Ava, if you didn't look like Emily, do you think I would have ever cared about you?" His voice was icy. "I gave you a chance. You didn't cherish it. For the rest of your life, don't even dream of touching me again." I gasped theatrically. "Oh wow, what a blessing." Clasping my hands together in mock prayer, I grinned. Finally, I never have to serve a man who needs kidney supplements again. Ryan slammed the door on his way out, his face like thunder. After dealing with the socialites, I slipped away to a quiet corner near the pool. Suddenly, a soft, warm fabric draped over my shoulders. I turned around and saw a handsome young man standing behind me. "Careful, you might catch a cold," he said gently. I immediately smelled trouble. Sure enough, after exchanging WeChat contacts, this guy, who called himself Jace, started texting me regularly. He wasn't very talkative. Mostly he just sent good morning and good night. Sometimes he'd ask for outfit advice, but what he really loved was posting on his social feed. One day, he posted a picture of contrails in the sky with the caption, "I wonder what she's doing right now." Another time, he posted a $1 rose writing, "A whole garden of flowers can't compare to the way she looks when she turns back to smile." And once he posted a blurry picture of the moonlight, captioned, "If only I could watch the moon with her by my side, that would be my greatest joy." What a love-struck fool. Finally, on my birthday, he called me. His voice was soft, nervous. "Ava, would you let me take you out for a birthday dinner?" It was a sudden request, unlike his usual reserved demeanor. I hesitated, but in the end, I agreed. We met at an exclusive garden restaurant, the sunlight warm and golden. Jace was wearing a white dress shirt, the breeze gently tousling his hair. When he saw me, he smiled and waved. For some reason, I briefly thought of the old Ryan. He handed me a bouquet of flowers. "Happy birthday, Ava." I frowned slightly. "How did you know today was my birthday?" He smiled mysteriously. "Because, Ava, you've always been in my heart." I said nothing, simply accepting the flowers with a smile. His warm fingertips lightly brushed against the back of my hand, almost imperceptible. Seeing that I didn't resist, he grew bolder, pouring 2 glasses of red wine. "A toast," Jace said, raising his glass, his gaze deep and affectionate. "To you, Ava. May you stay forever young, healthy, and happy." I took the wine and swirled it in my glass, letting out a self-mocking chuckle. I never expected anyone to actually remember my birthday. "Are you unhappy?" he asked, his voice tinged with concern. "You can talk to me about it. I don't want to see you sad." I hesitated, then sighed. Marriage in the upper class, it's not something that can be explained in just a few words. He was silent for a moment, then suddenly flashed a bright smile. "It's okay, Ava, you've got me." His tone was gentle yet sincere. I understand that being Mrs. Carter seems glamorous on the outside, but in reality it's exhausting. That night at the gala, I saw how tired your shoulders looked, and I couldn't control the urge to protect you from everything. His voice dropped lower. "I know I'm being ridiculous. I know I can't compare to Vice President Carter. I don't expect a title. I don't even dare to hope for a future. I just want to be by your side." His gaze darkened slightly, full of devotion. Let me be your loyal puppy, as long as you're happy. I raised an eyebrow, tilting my wine glass. Protect me from the storm, really? I swear, he said immediately, holding up 3 fingers. It's truer than truth itself. Great, I nodded. Then transfer me $1 million first. Jace froze. His smile suddenly cracked like a glass hit by a hammer. Ava, why would you say something so hurtful? I leaned back, swirling my wine. What's so hurtful about it? If you truly want to protect me, wouldn't you want to provide for me too? Jace looked genuinely pained. I don't have $1 million right now, but I do have a heart that's willing to do anything for you. Just because I don't have it now, doesn't mean I won't in the future. I'll prove it to you, Ava. I'll work hard until I can support you. His eyes gleamed with determination. And when that day comes, will I have the right to call you Ava instead of sister? He raised his glass again. A toast to our future. Wish me luck. I set my wine glass down and covered my face with my hands, pretending to be overwhelmed with emotion. Jace, I'm so touched. I lost control of myself. Please, just turn around for a moment. He stepped forward. Ava, you can lean on me if you want. I shook my head firmly. No, let me have a little dignity. I never thought I'd experience true love in this lifetime. Let me cry for just 1 minute, please. Unable to refuse my pleading, Jace turned around obediently. Exactly 1 minute later, I let out a deep breath and gestured for him to turn back around. With tears still glistening in my eyes, I picked up my wine glass and raised it toward him. Jace, a toast to our beautiful future. His entire face lit up. His eyes shone with excitement, as if he were looking at a stack of $100 bills. I downed the wine in one go. Immediately, my head felt dizzy. Jace quickly caught me, whispering close to my ear, Ava, are you feeling lightheaded? There's a bed inside. Let me help you lie down and rest for a bit. His tone was gentle, almost asking for permission, but his actions left no room for refusal. He carried me straight into the bedroom. Once he laid me down, he turned away and pulled something out of a drawer. A camera. He pointed it straight at me. I didn't panic. Instead, I leaned lazily against the pillow, my voice slow and teasing. Jace, I murmured, my lips curving into a smirk. I didn't know you were into this kind of stuff. He stiffened. Ava, aren't you scared? Scared? I propped my head up. I came all this way. Do you think I wouldn't expect this much? I chuckled. You better do a good job serving me tonight. I let my gaze sweep over him and smirked. But I'm not sure you're even up for it. Jace's face turned bright red. You're not afraid Ryan will find out? Find out? I laughed. Let him. What, is he not allowed to touch me, but I can't find someone else? I leaned in closer and whispered, You should know how marriages work in high society, Jace. Then I casually leaned back. All right, drop the act. You're not here for love, you just want my body and my money. His eyes flickered. I smirked. Relax, you don't have to pretend. In fact, I could use someone like you. If you do a good job, I might even reward you. I looked him over, clicking my tongue. But honestly, you're so scrawny, you don't really seem worth much. How about $500 a night? I tilted my head. Strip. Let's see if you're even worth that much. Jace's face instantly fell. Finally, when I doubted out loud if he was even worth $500, he snapped, Ava? You're really trying to rip me off. Jace fumed. Even if I were to put myself up for sale, my starting price would be at least $100,000 per client. Do you think you can get me for just $500? Dream on. I froze. Wait, what? My voice was filled with pure disbelief. Ryan Carter paid you $100,000? Are you serious? You're saying Ryan actually thinks you're worth that much? I couldn't believe it. There's no way. Ryan would never have such terrible judgment. You're obviously lying. Jace sneered. Who's lying? Here, take a look for yourself. He shoved his phone in my face, showing me his bank transaction history. See this? $100,000. His eyes gleamed with arrogance. Even Ryan Carter thinks I'm worth the money. I stared at the screen, utterly stunned. Ryan actually gave him that much? I narrowed my eyes. And what exactly did he pay you to do? Jace's expression stiffened. Obviously to tempt you into cheating during your marriage, he blurted before immediately covering his mouth, looking panicked. I tilted my head and smiled sweetly. What's the matter? Weren't you drugging me just now? What's the point of covering your mouth now? His eyes widened in shock. I laughed lightly. Oh, Jace, you really thought I wouldn't notice? That little trick of pouring the powder into my drink while pretending to refill my wine? Classic. You thought I'd be moved by a fake birthday celebration and fall for it? I scoffed. Please, I stopped being a naive little fool ages ago. With a crisp smash, I shattered my wine glass on the ground. At that moment, the door burst open. Aiden strode in, beer bottle in hand. The next thing Jace knew, he was tied to a chair, sitting face to face with Aiden and me. Under Aiden's icy glare, Jace cracked immediately and spilled everything. Just as I had suspected, Ryan had sent him to set me up. Ryan wanted to push me into making a mistake, then frame me for cheating so he could kick me out of the marriage with nothing. Once the project was finalized, they planned to expose my so-called infidelity, ensuring I left with not a single cent. Even if I tried using recordings or the IOU against him, they could easily deny everything and claim I had faked the evidence. I was boiling with rage. I had always known Ryan was scum, but I never imagined he would stoop this low. We had been married for 3 years. I had slept in the same bed as him, yet he was willing to ruin me just to avoid paying me a settlement. I was so furious that I nearly regretted not cutting off his manhood that night when he had fallen asleep. Aiden clenched his fists. I'm calling the police. I grabbed his arm to stop him. Don't bother, I said coldly. With Ryan's connections, calling the police is useless, just like last time. Instead, I picked up the beer bottle and tapped it against Jace's trembling shoulder. Jace, I cooed, would you like to make 200 grand? Jace's eyes lit up instantly. You're hiring me to be a double agent? His greedy grin spread across his face. Smart boy, I said. I need you to convince Ryan that I fell for your trap. Keep milking him for money under the excuse of dating me, and we'll split the cash 50-50. Once the job is done, I'll give you an extra 100 grand. I waved my phone. And don't get any funny ideas. I recorded everything you just confessed. Even if I can't get Ryan arrested, I can get you locked up in a heartbeat. Jace immediately straightened up. Boss, what are you talking about? He clutched his chest dramatically. I would never betray you. Right in front of me, Jace sent Ryan a series of fake evidence photos, me lying on a bed, looking dazed. If we're putting on a show, he smirked, we're going all in. For the next few days, I hid out at Aiden's place while Jace played his role perfectly. Every day, without fail, he would stand outside my building, rain or shine, holding a bouquet of flowers, gazing longingly up at my window. Finally, on a stormy night, I walked downstairs with an umbrella and brought his soaking wet self inside. The next day, we flew off to Europe, of course, with Aiden trailing behind us in sunglasses. Jace sent Ryan daily updates, complete with photos and videos of us holding hands. He even demanded travel expenses from Ryan, citing that he needed to treat me well. Ryan, being his stingy self, only sent 50 grand. Not too much, he told Jace. Go somewhere low-key and cheap. I don't want her drawing attention before the project is finalized. Tsk, so cheap. But whatever, 50 grand was still enough to fund our trip. A month passed in the blink of an eye. Then one morning I saw Ryan's face all over the finance news, talking about the successful completion of his project. Shortly after, my phone buzzed. Ryan's name flashed across the screen. He was calling me back. The three of us had been enjoying the sun, the beach, and a few sets of well-defined abs on a tropical island when we got the news. It was time to head back. In high society, if there was one thing more abundant than money, it was parties. To celebrate the completion of the project, Ryan Carter was hosting a grand banquet. The guest list included his relatives, close friends, and business partners who had contributed to the project. The moment I stepped into the venue, Ryan's family members immediately looked at me with disgust, as if I were a piece of radioactive waste. In my past life, Ryan had married me despite his family's objections. I had felt guilty about that and had spent years trying to win their approval. I had no money, but I had a sincere heart. I had believed that if I showed them love and kindness, they would eventually accept me. When Ryan's mother fell ill with pneumonia, even the housekeepers had avoided her, afraid of infection. But I had stayed by her bedside, day and night, personally taking care of her until she fully recovered. And when she finally did, she simply glanced at me coldly and muttered, "So clumsy. Even the maids who clean the toilets are better than you." I had been devastated, constantly questioning myself, wondering what I had done wrong. Then, not long after, Ryan's mother called me, asking me to take care of Ryan's sick aunt. I had happily agreed, thinking that maybe this meant they were finally starting to accept me. Until one day I overheard Ryan's aunt on the phone with his mother. Just think of her as a well-trained puppy. Let Ryan have fun with whoever he likes outside. We'll keep this one around as a punching bag. We can afford to feed a pet after all. A pet. A punching bag. Dog food. To them I wasn't even a person. No wonder they had eventually stopped opposing my marriage to Ryan. They didn't see me as his wife at all. All right then. Tonight, they were going to see what happens when a pet decides to bite back. Emily White had also arrived, bringing gifts for everyone. Compared to me, the lowly stray dog, Emily, with her perfect social background, was naturally beloved by the elders. Ryan's mother dramatically patted Emily's hand, pretending to scold her. "You heartless child, how could you leave us and run off abroad? If you had stayed, you and Ryan's child would be 3 years old by now." Emily glanced at me, feigning guilt. "Auntie, don't say that," she said softly, her voice dripping with false concern. Ava might feel hurt. Then, she sighed, looking at Ryan with heartfelt affection. "This isn't anyone's fault," she murmured. "It's just that. I wasn't lucky enough. As long as Ryan is happy, that's enough for me." Ryan's mother shot me a glare, but when she saw that I was too busy eating to care, her face twisted in anger. "It's been 3 years, and she hasn't even gotten pregnant," she muttered. "Completely useless. All she does is stuff her face. Was she a starving beggar in her past life?" I shoved the last bite of cake into my mouth, then grinned at her with a mouthful of crumbs, spraying cake crumbs everywhere. Ryan's mother recoiled in horror, turning away as if she had just stepped in something vile. Success. Finally, the banquet officially began. After Ryan finished his speech, he announced that he would be playing a video showcasing the future of the project, inviting everyone to look forward to the company's success together. I led the applause. Emily smirked at me, leaning in close and whispering, "Ava, you're done for." Just as I had expected, the video had been switched. Instead of a business presentation, the screen displayed a scandalous montage, a photo of me, half-dressed. A video of me leading a man upstairs on a rainy night. Footage of me in a bikini, laughing and playing on the beach with a man. The entire room fell into stunned silence. Ryan was the first to snap out of it, immediately turning off the screen. His face was livid with rage. "Who did this?" he roared. "Who fabricated these images to slander my wife?" He actually had the audacity to pretend to defend me. Moments later, a professional team was called in to examine the footage. The results? No tampering. The images were all real, unedited. In other words, I really had cheated. The people who had been standing by my side moments ago suddenly took a step back, putting 3 feet of distance between us. Their faces were filled with disgust and scorn. Ryan clutched his chest, his expression one of deep, unbearable pain. "Ava," he whispered. "I loved you so much. Why did you betray me?" His voice trembled. "Was I not enough? Tell me, and I'll change. I'll do anything." Ah, what a heart-wrenching performance. The perfect tragic CEO in love. With this setup, whether Ryan divorced me or remarried, people would only sympathize with him and wish him well. This whole situation would become fuel for his career. I lifted my gaze to look at him, but no matter how much I stared at his vulnerable, heartbroken expression, I couldn't reconcile it with the malicious schemes he had hidden beneath the surface. Suddenly, I remembered that rainy night 3 years ago, the night he had stood below my apartment, begging me to be his girlfriend. He had looked at me just like this, so fragile, so lost, that I had let my guard down. I had believed in him. I had believed that life could be like a romance novel, where the cold, powerful CEO would genuinely love an ordinary girl. What a joke. In the end, my kindness and naivety had been wasted on a man who didn't deserve it. When I thought about how I had died miserably in my past life, how Aiden had been destroyed trying to avenge me, my heart turned completely cold. "Ava, wake up." Ryan's relatives started yelling. "That woman doesn't deserve your love. Divorce her, kick her out of the Carter family." A gold digger from the slums, marrying Ryan was already the biggest blessing her ancestors ever gave her, and she still dares to betray him? One of Ryan's cousins suddenly lunged at me, aiming a kick at my stomach. But before he could land the hit, Ryan grabbed me and shielded me with his body. The kick landed squarely on Ryan's back instead. The banquet hall erupted in chaos. People immediately rushed to Ryan's side, cursing me for being a heartless, manipulative snake. His mother flew into a rage, yelling that Ryan was a fool for still protecting me. Emily's eyes turned red with tears, her voice trembling. "Ava," she whispered, "how could you do this to Ryan? He's such a good man. How could you hurt him like this?" She bit her lip, lowering her gaze in what looked like guilt. This is because of me, isn't it?" she murmured. "You're punishing Ryan because I came back, right? You're doing this out of spite." She took a deep, shaky breath, then turned to Ryan. "Ryan, I know we grew up together, but I've never wanted to come between you and Ava. We were childhood friends, yes, and maybe you helped me a little recently, but it was just out of friendship." Her voice grew softer, full of sorrow. "If Ava hates me that much, then I'll leave. I just hope she can treat you well." Her tone was so noble, so self-sacrificing, like she was willing to disappear for his happiness. The crowd was completely won over. Many of them already knew about Ryan and Emily's past relationship. Hearing Emily say all this only cemented their hatred toward me. "Emily shouldn't have to leave," Ryan's cousin shouted. "If anyone should go, it's Ava." "You and Ryan were always meant to be together," another relative added. "Ryan only married that woman because she forced him to. Ryan should divorce her immediately." Ryan shielded me, his face twisted with pain. "Everyone, please," he said, his voice heavy with sorrow. "Don't hurt Ava. This is all my fault." He looked at me with deep regret. "Ava, I was the one who wronged you. I shouldn't have forced you to marry me back then." His voice was low, affectionate, and filled with unbearable pain. "If freedom is what you truly want, then I won't hold you back anymore." His lips quivered slightly as if saying this broke him apart. "Let's get a divorce." "Finally," he said the magic words. To be honest, watching their ridiculous performance was exhausting. I calmly nodded. "All right, and what about the financial settlement?" Ryan's cousin exploded with rage. "Ava, you cheated, and you still want money? Are you out of your mind?" Ryan's aunt jumped in, just as furious. "Not a chance. We won't let a woman like you take a single cent from the Carter family. Ava, you should be grateful we're even letting you walk away alive." Ryan's cousin added mockingly. "You dared to ask for money? Get lost." These two. From the moment I had stepped into the Carter family, they had targeted me relentlessly, acting like I was stealing their inheritance. I let out a sharp laugh. "Why are you two so worked up?" I sneered. "Does Ryan's money have anything to do with you?" I tilted my head, my gaze sharp. "Or do you two actually think you're his children, fighting over his assets? Mind your own damn business. Instead of worrying about Ryan's finances, maybe focus on fixing your own pathetic lives first." The room went dead silent. They hadn't expected me to fight back. Ryan's cousin and aunt looked like they wanted to strangle me, but Ryan held them back. Finally, he sighed deeply. "Ava, I'll give you 5 million, he said, his voice weary. "That's more than enough for you to live comfortably for the rest of your life." I shook my finger at him, smiling coolly. "Nope, 200 million. Not a penny less." The room erupted in gasps. People stared at me in shock, as if I had just robbed a bank in broad daylight. The next second, the room exploded with outrage. They called me greedy. They called me a gold digger. They called me an ungrateful snake. They called me a monster. But I didn't care. Let them scream. The money was mine. Talking to me about morality in high society? What a joke. The people who speak of morality the least are always the ones with the most wealth and power. The ones who believe they can manipulate the world and control the lives of ordinary people like pieces on a chessboard. Ryan Carter's expression darkened. "Ava, I'll ask you one last time. Are you taking the 200 million or not?" His voice was sharp and unwavering, but standing at an angle where only I could see, his eyes were filled with a silent threat. "If you take this to court, your so-called cheating will be exposed. You won't even get 5 million. Our eyes met. His gaze was confident, certain that he had already won this battle. I slowly clapped my hands. "Vice President Carter, congratulations. Your self-destruction package has just been delivered. Please check your inbox." Then, with a single flick of my wrist, I smashed my wine glass onto the floor. As the shattered glass glistened under the chandelier, the screen in the banquet hall lit up again. This time, it wasn't the fake evidence of my so-called affair. Instead, it was Jace, tied to a chair, crying like a pitiful little lamb. Tears streamed down his face as he sobbed. I was just a simple escort, minding my own business. But Vice President Carter offered me $100,000 to seduce Ava and create evidence of her cheating, so she'd be kicked out with nothing. He wailed dramatically. Ava, please let me go. I'm young. Unlike Ryan, I don't need kidney supplements. I can satisfy you anytime. Silence. Pure, absolute silence. Then, another recording played. This time it was the audio of me catching Ryan and Emily together. Ryan's voice was unmistakable. We'll fake the perfect husband and wife act until the project is secured. Then I'll frame Ava, and she'll leave with nothing. After that, we can finally get rid of her. And just when the crowd thought the humiliation had peaked, the final blow landed. My conversation with Ryan about the IOU. The moment kidney supplements were mentioned again, Ryan's face turned an ugly shade of red. At this point, everyone in the room was in utter shock. They had come expecting to witness a cheating scandal, but instead they had just watched Ryan dig his own grave. Ryan finally snapped out of his daze, roaring, "Turn that off." He tried to rush toward the screen, but before he could even take a step, a group of security guards planted by Aiden pinned him down. "Ava, how dare you?" Ryan's voice shook with fury. I tilted my head innocently. "Vice President Carter, I only wanted my $200 million. It's not my fault you decided to self-destruct." Just then, the doors to the banquet hall burst open. Ryan's assistant rushed in, breathless. "Sir, bad news." His voice trembled with panic. "Our stock price just plummeted, and 5 major partners have announced they're cutting ties with Carter Group." Ryan Carter had officially entered his downfall arc. Originally, this scandal would have only circulated among the elite circles. But Emily, in a desperate attempt to completely ruin me, had secretly arranged for the entire banquet to be live-streamed. When the stream first showed my so-called cheating scandal, the internet exploded with rage, attacking me as if I were the worst gold digger in history. They dug up everything about me, even cursing my ancestors. But the moment the truth was revealed, the outrage immediately flipped, and now, it was Ryan who was under fire. The scandal spread like wildfire. One by one, Carter Group's business partners severed their contracts, and the company's stock plummeted overnight. Outside Carter Group's headquarters, furious shareholders gathered with banners, demanding an explanation. And online, Vice President Carter's kidney supplements started trending at #1, while the best manipulative CEO of the year dominated the charts for a full week. A production company even rushed out a short drama series titled The Villainous CEO's Perfect Scheme. Within 3 days, it had grossed over $1 billion, and the biggest sponsor of the show, a kidney supplement brand. Their stocks skyrocketed. As for me, well, I was just a low-key investor who happened to pocket a few million from the drama's success. 2 weeks later, with solid evidence against Ryan, the court ordered him to pay me $200 million, plus emotional damages. Ryan showed up at my door, his face pale, his eyes tired. The business world was cruel. The moment Carter Group became vulnerable, its competitors had swarmed in like vultures. All it took was a little push, and suddenly, every hidden scandal, tax evasion, asset transfers, illegal businesses came crashing down. Ryan was in serious trouble. "Ava, I was wrong." His fingers trembled as he grabbed my hand, his once arrogant gaze now filled with desperation. His voice cracked. I only realized after you left. I don't love Emily. I never loved Emily. The person I truly love is you." His grip tightened. "Ava, please, give me one more chance. Come back to me." I let out a low, mocking laugh. "Ryan, do you love me?" I asked slowly. "Or do you love the $200 million in my hands?" Ryan's face stiffened. "Have you ever thought about this?" I continued, my voice turning cold. "If I hadn't caught on to your plan in time. So now that you're completely ruined, you expect me to help you?" I let out a soft chuckle. "Ryan, be honest, if the situation were reversed, would you help me?" I answered for him. "Of course not. You'd be raising your glass with Emily, celebrating your perfectly executed scheme and happily ever after." I tilted my head and smiled. "So tell me, why should I help you? Who do you think you are?" Ryan finally dropped the act. His eyes turned cold and filled with fury. "Ava, do you think just because you have a little money now, you can bring me down?" He clenched his fists. "I will rise again, and when I do, I'll make sure you have nowhere to run." I calmly wiped my hand with a towel, the hand that he had touched, and laughed. All right, then I'll be watching. A month later, Carter Group collapsed completely. I heard Ryan was still struggling to make a comeback. Back then, I had thought powerful corporations like Carter Group were untouchable, something people like me could only look up to from afar. But in the eyes of the law, they were nothing. Justice had been served. That day, Aiden and I went to view a luxury penthouse. As we approached the building, we could hear a man and a woman screaming at each other inside. The voices sounded very familiar. Curious, we walked closer, and sure enough, we saw Emily White dragging her suitcase, trying to leave, and Ryan refusing to let her go. Emily, Ryan pleaded, his voice desperate. You promised. You said you'd stay by my side no matter what. Emily rolled her eyes. Ryan, wake up. Do you really think I would have come back from abroad if you weren't in power? Ryan's expression darkened. What do you mean by that? Emily sighed dramatically. Ryan, you've lost everything. Why would I stay? She crossed her arms, looking at him like he was an idiot. I mean, honestly, without Carter Group, what do you even have to offer me? Ryan snapped. You gold-digging bitch. He slapped Emily across the face. The next moment, they were full-on fighting, shoving, yelling, tearing at each other like wild animals. Sensing the perfect opportunity, I pulled out my phone and started a live stream. Aiden, ever the thoughtful friend, had already called security to stand by. Once the viewers had enjoyed the show to their heart's content, the security guards finally stepped in and separated them. Emily, her hair a mess, was furious. She turned toward me, momentarily forgetting that we were supposed to be enemies. Eva, she whimpered, that 200 million, you deserve it. Take it. I never want to hear about Ryan Carter or his stupid kidney supplements ever again. Well, at least she had finally come to her senses. Seeing his own downfall unfold in real time, Ryan turned toward me with a bruised face and an arrogant sneer. Ava, why are you here? His voice was mocking. Unless you're here to beg me for something, don't waste your time, I'll never take you back. Aiden rolled his eyes and shoved him aside. Relax, Ryan. We're just here to buy this penthouse. Move. The property manager awkwardly cleared his throat. Mr. Carter, actually, these two ladies are the new owners of this penthouse. Ryan's face twisted in shock. He had no choice but to sell his penthouse, the very one he had bought using marital assets from our marriage. And who was buying it? Me. Consider it charity, I said, signing the contract with a flourish. After all, I'm not short on cash these days. Ryan gritted his teeth. Ava, mark my words, I'll make a comeback. I nodded enthusiastically. Sure, and when you do, you'll fall even harder. I never paid attention to what happened to Ryan after that. I heard he ended up becoming a live-in son-in-law, relying on some rich widow to survive. As for me, after tasting success in the film industry, I fully invested in short dramas. Aiden and I became producers, making millions while having the time of our lives. 15 days later, Jace came knocking on my door. I want to be the lead actor in one of your dramas, he said. I laughed outright. Jace, the film industry is not a dumpster. Not just any trash can be thrown into it. He pouted pitifully. Come on, Ava. If someone like me can be an idol, won't I inspire the masses? I raised an eyebrow. Inspire them to what? To sleep with 200 women a year? Jace burst into tears. I swear, he sobbed. I'll never be an escort again, and I'll never take money to scam people. I sighed dramatically. Fine. I handed him 100 grand, the payment I had promised him earlier. The moment the money touched his hand, the tears magically stopped. But instead of leaving, he lingered at the doorway, turning back to look at me again and again. Finally, just as he was about to walk out, he hesitated and asked softly, Ava, don't you need a man in your life? Someone to keep you warm? I glanced out the window. Aiden was standing outside, smiling as he took a business call, his presence warmer than the first spring breeze of March. I let out a light laugh. Men, I mused. They're not a necessity, just a decorative toy, really.